Stu, what changes do you see in the telecom world?
Sure. Well, I think the first real exciting trend has been the number of people who have actually dropped their landlines and and just adopted mobile service. So I'd say that's been the big change. I'd say that the next big change as far as voice telecom, traditional voice, is going to be that now that the services are offered where you can actually get Wi-Fi wherever you are through things like either Verizon or Virgin's MiFi card, people who use Google Voice, Skype, they're gonna want they're gonna want their primary telephone number to be to be through Skype or through Google Voice, but they're not even necessarily going to subscribe to a mobile service. They're going to figure out that if they have Wi-Fi service wherever they go, then they can just get a number. I think the hard part is porting your number, because right now, where I could port my number from T-Mobile to Sprint, I can't port my number from T-Mobile to, say, Google Voice or Skype. So it'll be interesting to see what the take is that the FCC has there.
And can you talk a little bit about where you see the online landscape going?
Sure. Well, I think that first of all, I think long tail content offerings, that's gigantic. I always use the example. I think that if you have a passion, two things: that there's going to be a meetup group in New York that follows that passion. So if you have a certain type of breed, you can go into Central Park and find other people with that breed of dog and go for a walk. Online, it's the same thing. If you have an interest, that you're going to be able to find an online community with similar interests. But I think that so I think one is that social dynamic, and then the other big change, I think, is just video moving to the internet. It's finally huge, where there's libraries, there's the video hubs with tons of content available, which I think really plays into it plays into the traditional TV networks' hands. Because for what we used to say, old media versus new media, the honest answer is that the TV networks have so much content. For example, ESPN in Bristol, Connecticut. I've never seen it, but I've heard about it. They have a huge facility with acres and acres of digital production capability. So now when people can actually view content on a digital world on their phones, on their computers, or on TV, they're going to benefit because they've already made those huge capital investments. It's a lot different than creating a blog. I could create a blog, anyone can create a blog and take some thoughts and put it down on a website, but it's harder to compete with with a cable network and really get premium video. It's expensive to make, it's timely to edit, and it's costly to serve.
For me, this is the most challenging question. How do you keep track? How do you keep on top of? Not even trying to get ahead of, but how do you keep track of all these changes?
Sure. I think a lot of it is for example, Twitter. You can just spend 10 minutes on Twitter and you see so many interesting things if you follow the right people. But I think the important thing is that it's easy to get lost on what consumers do. So you need to go to Best Buy. You need to speak to people who aren't a part of the industry. And then the other big thing is that I think you need to pay attention to the business trends of the financial community, which companies are making money, which are placing what bets, because you put the three together. You put together what's going on Madison Avenue, what's going on Wall Street and Main Street together, and you really could glean a lot of insights. And I don't think there's a lot of people who really would focus that broadly.
So, Stu, what do you think about the big demographic changes coming about?
Sure. That's an area I've been passionate about a long time. I think first of all, looking at baby boomers, I think as an advertising industry, we stopped buying advertising against people who are 49. I think I've never really understood that. And then if you want to think about it, how amazing it is, that means that people like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, who've invented it or led all of this technological change over the last 20 years, we wouldn't even include them in our buys, which it just doesn't make sense. So I think that with the buying power and just people living longer, we're going to really need to start focusing more of our marketing, not just on the 18 to 49 cohorts, but there should be no real ceiling on an age. And then I think the other two big trends is one I spoke of a little bit earlier, that I think when you look at the youth, the difference between, say, Gen X, Y, and Z. I mean, Gen X by far isn't youth anymore. Those are really too broad. You need to really pay attention to just the change. I mean, look at, in the political world, you can see that when enough people get over 18, that really changes the election, because over 4 years' time, the country has such a different makeup. And I think a lot of that is led up by just how diverse we are as a country. There's no denying how big the over already. I know Univision's topped the three networks in the ratings over the summer. So I think you have to pay attention to what's going on in among the Hispanic segments.